Amelia. You can take your job. I'm ready to read you the new play, Miss Wellington, anytime you are.
Just a minute, dearie. Just a minute.
The only thing is, and I hope you won't mind my mentioning this, but you don't drink when you're acting, do you, Miss Wellington? I'm just asking, of course.
I'm glad you brought it up. Once a play opens, I never touch a drop. Minute I enter the stage door, the bottle gets put away until intermission.
Have you been on stage a long time, Miss Wellington?
All my life, I've been in everything. You ever see Peg o' My Heart?
Yes.
I saw it too. It's a good show. My, hot night, ain't it?
You want me to open the window, Miss Wellington?
No, the hell with the weather. Say, he's cute.
Oh! She don't mean anything, Reba. She's just acting.
Well, whenever you're ready to start, we can go up to my room. I thought I'd read the play up in my room.
All right, dearie. I'm ready. When I see snakes, it's time to lay down.
Oh dear. Oh dear. I hope she doesn't. Miss Wellington?
She's out like a light. Better let her sleep it off.
Reba! Miss Wellington just passed out.
You think she'll be all right?
Oh, yes, but I wouldn't cast her in the religious play.
I guess I'll just have to wait then.
Next time you meet an actress on top of the bus, Penny, I think I'd send her the play instead of bringing her home to read it.
Oh, Ed, I wish you'd stop trying and take those love dreams around. I need you to be back in time to play for me when Kolenkov comes.
Oh. Kolenkov coming tonight?
Yes, tomorrow night's his night, but I had to change it on account of Alice.
Ooh, big doings around here tomorrow night, huh?
Isn't it exciting? You know, I'm so nervous you'd think he was engaged to me instead of Alice.
Well, what do you think they'll be like, his mother and father? Oh, Ed, what are you doing now?
Did you see Penny? Did you see the new mask I made last night?
Now, wait a minute, Ed, don't tell me. Helen of Troy.
No, it's Miss Roosevelt.
You know the great thing about these McKenna sets, you can build anything with them. Last week was the Empire State Building.
What is it this week?
Queen Mary.
Hasn't got the right hat on.
Say, Mr. DePinna, would you open the door and see if there's a man standing in front of the house?
Why? What for?
Well, the last 2 days, when I've been out delivering candy, I think a man's been following me.
Oh, Ed, you're crazy.
No, I'm not. He follows me, and he stands, and he watches the house.
Really? Well, I'll have a look and see.
I don't see what anyone would follow you for, Ed.
Well, there's a lot of kidnapping going on, Grandpa.
Oh, yes, but not of Ed.
Well, did you see anyone?
There's nobody out there at all.
You're sure?
Positive, I just saw him walk away.
There! You see?
Oh, Ed, it could be anyone walking down the street.
Oh,
Will you please hurry back?
You want to go down now, Mr. Sycamore, and finish packing up the fireworks? Yeah, we got to bring the stuff up and hot burning in the morning.
Mother, may I borrow some paper? I'm making out a list for Reba tomorrow night.
Here's some.
Oh.
What happened to your actress friend?
Is she giving a performance? No, she's not acting. She's really drunk.
Essie dear, you're going to get Reba the kitchen all day tomorrow, aren't you? Because she'll need it. Of course. I'll start some love dreams right now, so I'll be way ahead. Oh, thanks, dear. Look, Mother, I'm coming home at 3 o'clock. Will you have everything down in the cellar by that time? The typewriter and the snakes and the xylophone and the printing press?
And Miss Wellington.
And Miss Wellington, that will give me time to arrange the table and fix the flowers.
Oh, the Kirby's are certainly going to get the wrong impression of this house.
You'll do all that, won't you, Mother?
Of course, dear.
And I think we better have cocktails ready by 7:15 in case they happen to come a little early. I wonder if I ought to let Reba cook the dinner. What do you think, Grandpa?
No, I wouldn't worry, Alice. From what I've seen of the boy, I'm sure the Kirby's are very nice people. And even if everything isn't so elaborate tomorrow night, well, that's all right too.
Oh, darling, I'm not trying to impress them or pretend we're anything that we're not. I just want everything to go off well.
Well, no reason why it shouldn't.
We're all going to do everything we can to make sure it's a nice party.
My darlings, I love you. You're the most wonderful family in the world. And I'm the happiest girl in the world. I didn't know anyone could be so happy. Why, this past week has been like floating. Oh, he's so wonderful, Grandpa. Why, just seeing him, oh, you don't know what it does to me.
Just seeing him.
Mm-hmm.
Just seeing him for lunch and dinner and until 4 o'clock in the morning. And next morning at 9 o'clock, you're at the office again. And there he is. Just seeing him.
I don't care. I'm in love. Reba! Reba!
Nice to see you're so happy, huh?
Yes. Oh, I remember when I was engaged to Paul. How happy I was. And you know what? I still feel that way.
I know. Nice the way Ed and Essie get along too, isn't it?
And Donald and Reba, even though they're not married. Do you suppose Mr. DePinna will ever find anyone to marry Grandpa?
Well, there's Miss Wellington.
Oh dear, I wish she'd wake up. If we're ever going to read the play tonight.
Mrs. Sycamore, look what I found. Remember?
Oh, why, of course! It's my painting of you as the discus thrower. Look, Grandpa!
I remember it. Hey, you've gotten a little bald, haven't you, Mr. DePino?
Really? Is it very noticeable?
That was a long time ago. Just before I stopped painting. Let me see, that's 8 years.
Too bad you never finished it, Mrs. Sycamore.
Oh, I always meant to, Mr. DePinna. But I just started writing a play one day, and that was that. I never painted again.
And just as well, too. I was going to have to strip next.
My goodness, who would have thought that day that I came to deliver the ice that I was going to stay for 8 years?
Yeah, the milkman stayed for 5, just ahead of you.
Why did he leave anyhow? I forget.
He didn't leave. He died.
Oh, yeah.
He was such a nice man. Remember the funeral, Grandpa? We never knew his last name. It was kind of hard to get a death certificate.
Oh, yeah. What was the name we finally made up for him?
Martin Vanderhoff. We gave him your name.
I remember.
Oh, and it was a lovely thought, too, because otherwise he never would have got all those flowers.
Oh, it certainly was. And it didn't hurt me any. Not bothered with phone calls anymore. And I haven't gotten a telephone call from that day to this.
Yes, it certainly was a wonderful idea. Oh, Reba, remember my painting of Mr. DePinna?
Oh,
I'll get it. Thanks, Reba.
I wish you'd finish it sometimes, Mrs. Sycamore. I think I'd kind of like to have it.
You know what, Mr. DePinna? I think I'll do some work on it right tonight.
Say, will ya?
I don't suppose she's going to wake up anyhow. Look, Mr. DePinna, you go down to the cellar and put on your costume and bring up the easel. Is it still down there?
I think so.
Now let me see. Where did I put my palette and brushes? Yes, sir, Mr. Cullen. Hello, Mr. Kalenkoff. Essie's in the kitchen.
Madam Sycamore, I greet you. Grandpa, what should I do about Rabishka? I keep telling her she would make great pole dancer, but she laughs only.
No, sir, I couldn't get up on my toes, Mr. Kalenkoff. I got corn.
Rabishka, you got diamonds! Great girl, Grandpa. What is that?
Picture of Mr. DePino. Penny painted it.
It stinks.
I know. How do you like that?
What is that?
She's an actress, a friend of Penny's.
She is drunk now.
She is drunk, yes. How are you, Kalinkoff?
Magnificent! Life is chasing around inside of me like spell.
Oh, yes. What's new in Russia? Any letters from your friend in Moscow?
I have just heard from him, and I say for you to stamp.
Oh, thank you, Kalinkoff.
They have sent him to Siberia.
They have, huh? How does he like it?
He has escaped. He has escaped and gone back to Moscow. He will get them yet if they do not get him. The Soviet government. I could take the whole Soviet government and
Sorry I'm late, Mr. Kulikov. I'll get in my dancing clothes right away.
Tonight you will really work, my Pavlova. Tonight we will take something new.
Is he making any progress, Kolinkov?
Confidentially, she stinks.
Well, as long as she's having fun.
He sure did tickle Reva, Mr. Klinkov. She's laughing her head off.
She is a great woman. Donald, what do you think of the Soviet government?
The what, Mr. Klinkov?
I get the rather question. What do you think of these government?
I like it just fine. I'm on relief, you know.
Ah, yes, and you like it?
It's fine. The only thing is, you gotta go around to the place every week. And sometimes you gotta stand in line pretty near half an hour. Government ought to be run better than that, don't you think, Grandpa?
The government ought to stop sending me letters. They want me to be at the United States Marshal's office Tuesday morning at 10 o'clock. Take a look at that.
Ah, income tax. They have got you, Grandpa.
I'm supposed to give them a lot of money so as to keep Donald on relief.
You don't say. Are you gonna pay it from now on, Grandpa?
That's what they want.
So I can come right here and get my check instead of standing in that line?
Well, I'm sorry. You're just going to have to waste a full half hour of your time every week.
Well, I don't like it. It breaks up my week.
He should have been in Russia when the revolution came. Then he would have stood in line, a bread line. Ah, Grandpa, what they have done to Russia, think of it. The Grand Duchess Olga Katrina, a cousin of the Tsar. She is waitress at Child's restaurant. I ordered baked beans from her only yesterday. It broke my heart. A crazy world, Grandpa.
Oh, the world's not so crazy, Kalenkov. It's the people in it. Life's pretty simple if you just relax.
How can you relax in times like these?
Well, if they'd relax, there wouldn't be times like these. And that's just my point. You know, life is kind of beautiful if you just let it come to you. The trouble is, people forget that. I know I did. I was right in the thick of it. Fighting and scratching and clawing, a regular jungle. And one day it just kind of struck me. I wasn't having any fun.
So you did what?
I just relaxed. 35 years ago that was. And I've been a happy man ever since.
Good evening, Mr. Kolenkov.
Ah, Miss Alice, I have not seen you to present my congratulations!
Thank you.
May you be very happy and have many children. That is my prayer for you.
That's quite a thought.
Love. Love is the only thing left in the world, Grandpa.
Ah, yes, but there's plenty of that.
And soon Stalin will take that away too, I tell you, Grandpa.
It feels so nice to get back into my art things. They still look all right, don't they, Grandpa?
Yes, indeed.
You are a breath of Paris, Madame Sycamore.
Thank you, Mr. Kolenkov.
Say, I didn't know he was working for the WPA.
Oh, no, Donald. I just can't.
There's a man following me every place I went.
Nonsense, Ed. It's your imagination.
No, it's not. It happens every time I go out to deliver candy.
Maybe he wants a piece of candy.
It's all right for you to laugh, Grandpa, but he keeps on following me.
You do not know what following is. In Russia, everybody is followed. I was followed right out of Russia.
You see, Ed, the whole thing is just imagination.
Maybe.
Where are you walking from there?
Here we are. Put it right here, Mr. Pinna.
For tonight's lesson, we use the first movement of Scheherazade.
Mr. Pinna, has something happened to your figure these past 8 years?
No, I don't think there's anything different.
Yes, Miss Monkey, yes? Oh. Oh, dear.
Sorry, Mr. Kolenkov. I
We have a hard night for it, my Pavlova. But art is only achieved through perspiration.
That is wonderful, Mr. Kolenkoff. Did you hear that, Grandpa? Art is only achieved through perspiration.
Yes, but it helped to have a little talent along with it. I only made 2 bullseyes last night. That's got to do better.
And those flies in the kitchen.
You are ready? Ed, we begin. Now, pirouette. Pirouette, come, you can do that. It has been 8 years. At last. Now, entreca. No, Grandpa, you cannot relax with starring in Russia. The Tsar relaxed. What happened to him?
It was too late.
If he had not relaxed, the Grand Duchess Olga Katrina would not be selling baked beans today.
Mr. Kolenkoff!
I'm sorry, we go back to the pirouette.
Please go on your stomach, Mr. DePinna. That's right.
A little freer with the hands. The whole body must work. Ed, help us with the music. The music must be free too.
Mr. Sycamore. What, Rita?
Good evening. How do you do?
How do you do?
Too early? Oh, no. Come right in. It's perfectly all right. We're glad to see you.
Why, yes, only we thought it was to be tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night.
What?
Now it's perfectly all right. Just make yourselves at home.
Tony, how could you possibly?
I don't know.
Really, Tony, this is most
Oh,
embarrassing.
not at all. We were doing a thing.
No, just a quiet evening at home.
Now, don't let it bother you. This is Alice's mother, Penny.
How do you do?
Alice's sister, Essie. Mr. Kolenkoff, her dance teacher. Reba.
Hi.
Donald. That's Ed, Essie's husband. And Mr. DePina.
How do you do?
Don't mind my costume, I'll take it right off.
Mr. DePina, would you tell Mr. Sycamore to come right up? Tell him Mr. and Mrs. Kirby are here.
Be sure to put his pants on.
All right, excuse me.
Mrs. Kirby is here.
I gotta go tell Alice. Alice, dear. Can you come down here? We have a surprise for you. Well,
Mrs. Kirby, come here. Why don't you sit in the best seat in the house?
Baby, you're perfectly sure that we're not.
Oh, don't be alarmed. They're perfectly harmless. Donald, take them to the kitchen.
we're so used to them around the house.
I'm sorry to trouble you. It's just that snakes happen to be.
I feel very uncomfortable about this, Tony. How could you have done such a thing?
I'm sorry, Dad. I thought it was tonight.
It was very careless of you. Very.
Oh, now anybody could get mixed up, Mr. Kirby.
Penny, how about some dinner for these folks? They come for dinner, you know.
Oh, please don't bother. We're really not hungry at all.
Oh, but it's not a bit of bother. Reba, can you ask Donald to run to the A&P and get half a dozen balls of beer and some canned salmon? Do you like canned salmon, Mr. Kirby?
Please don't trouble Mrs. Sycamore. I have a little indigestion anyway.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, how about you, Mrs. Kirby? Do you like canned salmon?
Oh, I'm very fond of it.
You could have regular. If you'd rather.
Oh, either one will do.
Make it Frankfurters then. And some canned corn and Campbell soup. Got that, Reba? Okay. And tell him to hurry. The A&P is just at the corner, and Frankfurters take no time at all to boil. Oh,
Ah, this is Alice's father, Mr. Sycamore, Mr. and Mrs. Kirby.
How do you do?
I hope you'll forgive my appearance.
this is Mr. Sycamore's busiest time of year. Just before the 4th of July, he always...
Darling, I'm the most dominant person in the world. I thought it was tonight.
I thought that you... I'm sorry. I can't imagine why it was... have you all met each other?
Yes, indeed.
How do you do, Alice?
Oh, good evening, Mrs. Kirby. I'm afraid I'm not very presentable
Of course she does. Now, don't let this upset you, my dear. We've all just met each other a night sooner. That's all.
Of course. But I was planning such a nice party tomorrow night.
Well, we'll come again tomorrow night.
There you are, Alice. Am I
I guess so. We'd better see about getting you some dinner.
Oh, it's all done, Alice.
All been attended to. But Mother, what did you send out for? Because Mr. Kirby suffers from indigestion. He can only eat certain things.
No, it's all right. It's all right.
Of course it is, darling.
I asked him what he wanted, Alice.
Yes, but
No, it's not as serious as all that, just because I have a little indigestion.
Perhaps it is not indigestion at all, Mr. Kirby. Perhaps you have stomach ulcers.
Sir, Mr. Kolenkov.
Don't mind Mr. Kolenkov, Mr. Kirby. He's a Russian, and Russians are inclined to look at the dark side.
All right, I'm a Russian, but a friend of mine, a Russian, died from stomach ulcers.
Really, I can
Please,
assure
Mr.
you.
Kolenkov. Mr. Kirby suffers from indigestion, and that's all.
All right, let him wait.
Do sit down, Mr. Kirby. Make yourself comfortable.
Thank you.
Well,
Tell me, Mr. Kirby, how are business conditions? Are we pretty well out of the depression?
Yes, I think so. Of course, it depends.
But you figure that things are going to keep on improving.
Broadly speaking, yes. As a matter of fact, industry is now operating at 64% of full capacity, as against 82% in 1925. Of course, in 1929,
There was a young lady from Wheeling who had an incredible feeling. She took quite a lot, but gave back what she sent them all away reeling. Oh, she
That may seem a little strange to people. She's not quite accountable for all her actions. She's a friend of Mr. Sycamore. She came for dinner and was overcome by the heat.
yes. Some people, feel it more than others. Perhaps I'd better go see if she's all right. Please, excuse me.
It is awfully hot. You usually escape all this hot weather, don't you, Mrs. Kirby? Up in Maine?
As a rule, yes. I had to come down this week, however, for the flower show.
Mother wouldn't miss that for the world. That blue ribbon is the high point of her year.
I won a ribbon in a flower show once for raising onions. Remember, Alice? That was a garden show, Essie.
I think she'll be all right now. Has Donald come back yet?
No, he hasn't.
I'm sure he'll be back any minute, and dinner will be ready right away. I'm afraid you must all be starved.
No, quite all right. Well, hello. What's this? I didn't know there were little children in the house.
No, that's mine.
Really? Well, I suppose every man has his hobby. Or do you use this as a model of some kind?
No, I just play with it.
I see.
Maybe you'd be better off if you had a hobby like that, Father, instead of raising orchids.
Yes, I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh, do tell us about your orchids, Mr. Kirby. They take 6 years before they blossom, don't they? Think of that.
Oh, some of them take longer than that. I have one coming along I've waited 10 years for.
Believe it or not, I was waiting for an orchid.
Yes, of course. During that period, they required the most scrupulous of care. I remember a bulb I was very fond of.
Donald, did you get everything?
Yes, ma'am. Only they didn't have frankfurters, so instead I got pickled pig feet.
Mr. Kirby, please tell them all about your orchids. I know they'd love to hear it. And, excuse me.
Kind of expensive hobby, isn't it, Mr. Kirby? Raising orchids?
Yes, it is. But I feel if a hobby gives one sufficient pleasure, it's never expensive.
That's very true.
You see, I need something to relieve the daily nerve strain. After a week in Wall Street, I'd go crazy without something like that. A lot of men I know have yachts, just for that very reason.
Well, I don't think even Wall Street.
How's that?
I was just joking.
I think it's necessary for everyone to have a hobby. Of course, it's more than just a hobby to me. But my great solace is spiritualism.
Spiritualism? Now, Mrs. Kirby, everybody knows that's a fake.
Well, to me, Mrs. Sycamore, spiritualism is... Well, I'd rather not discuss it, Mrs. Sycamore.
Remember, Penny, you've got one or two hobbies of your own.
Yes, but not silly ones.
I don't think it matters what the hobby is. The important thing is to have one.
To be ideal, a hobby should improve the body as well as the mind. The Romans were a great people. Why? What was their hobby? Wrestling. In wrestling, you must think quick with the mind as well as act quick with the body.
Yes, but I'm afraid wrestling is not practical for most of us. I wouldn't make a very good showing as a wrestler.
You would be great wrestler. You are built for it. Look. Hey!
Where are my glasses?
Oh, there they are, Mr. Kirby. Mr. Kirby, they're broken.
Oh, I'm sorry, but the next time you wrestle, Mr. Kirby, you will of course not wear glasses.
I do not intend to wrestle again, Mr. Kolenkov.
Better sit down, Father.
Mr. Kolenkov, how could you do such a thing? Why didn't somebody stop him?
I think, perhaps, if you don't mind, we'd better be going.
Mother.
Oh no, Mrs. Kirby, please don't go. Mr. Kirby, please, I've ordered scrambled eggs for you and a plain salad and please don't go.
I'm sorry if I did something wrong, and I apologize.
I can't tell you how sorry I am, Mr. Kirby. If I'd been here, I
It's
would.
quite all right.
Of course it is. It's all right, Alice. We're not going.
Well, that was exciting for a minute, wasn't it?
You were talking about your orchids, Mr. Kirby. You raise many different varieties?
I'm afraid I've quite forgotten about my orchids.
I'm awfully sorry, Mr. Kirby.
What did I do that was so terrible? I threw him on the floor. Did it kill him?
Please, Mr. Kolenkov.
I'm sure dinner won't be any minute now.
Would you like some candies while you wait, Mr. Kirby? I have some fresh made.
My doctor does not permit me to eat candy, thank you.
Oh, but these are nothing, just coconut and marshmallow and fudge. See, don't.
Miss Alice. Miss Alice.
Excuse me, please.
That eggs done fell down the sink.
Mrs.
be a little delay, but everything will be ready in just a minute.
Whoosh!
I'm afraid I've put you people to a lot of trouble with my stupidity.
Not at all, Tony.
Look, why don't we play a game of some sort while we're waiting?
Oh, that would be fine.
Mother, I don't think Mr.
I have an idea. I know a wonderful trick with a glass of vodka.
I'm sure Mr. and Mrs. Kirby would love this game. It's perfectly harmless.
Oh, please, Mother.
I'm not good at games, Mrs. Sycamore.
Oh, anybody for a cool fool could play this game, Mr. Kirby. All you do is write your name on a piece of paper.
But Mother, Mr. Kirby
Oh,
doesn't
he'll
want...
love it. Here you are, Mr. Kirby. Write your name on that piece of paper. And Mrs. Kirby, write your name on this one.
Mother, what is this game?
It's called Forget-Me-Not. I used to play it in school. Here you are, Grandpa. Now I'm going to call out 5 words, just any word at all. And when I do, you're to put down the first thing that comes into your mind. Is that clear? For instance, if I call out grass, you might put down green. Just whatever you think of, see? Or if I call out chair, you might put down table. It shows the reactions people have to different things. You see how simple that is, Mr. Kirby?
Come on, Father, be a sport.
Very well, I shall be happy to play it.
You see, Alice, he does want to play.
Well,
Now then, everybody ready?
Red.
Now remember, you must play fair. Put down the first thing that comes into your mind.
I understand.
Ready? The first word is potatoes. Potatoes. Ready for the next one? Bathroom.
Mother.
Bathroom. Got that?
Hey.
All ready? Lust. Nonsense, Alice. That word is all right.
Mother, that word is not all right.
I don't know. I think it's a perfectly fair word.
You see, Alice, now you mustn't interrupt the game.
May I have the last word again, please?
Lust, Mr. Kirby.
I've got it.
This is quite a game, isn't it?
Grandpa. All ready? Honeymoon. All right. The last word is sex. Everybody got sex? Now give me all your papers. Mr. Kirby, may I have your paper? Thank you.
What happens now?
Oh, this is the best part. Now I get to read out all of your reactions.
I see. This really is an interesting game, isn't it?
I knew you'd like it, Mr. Kirby. I'm going to read your paper first, Mr. Kirby. Everybody, I'm going to read Mr. Kirby's paper first. This is Mr. Kirby. Potatoes, steak. Very good, Mr. Kirby. See how they go together, steak and potatoes?
I just happened to think of it.
Well, that is very good. Bathroom, toothpaste, well. Lust, unlawful. Isn't that nice? Honeymoon trip, yes. Sex, male. Oh, yes, of course you are. It's a wonderful paper, Mr. Kirby.
Thank you. It's more than just a game, you know. It's sort of an experiment in psychology, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It shows just how your mind works. Next, we're going to see how Mrs. Kirby's mind works. Everybody, this is Mrs. Kirby. Potatoes, start. Kirby. Bathroom, Mr. Kirby.
What's that?
Bathroom, Mr. Kirby.
I'm afraid I don't quite follow that, my dear.
I don't know. I just thought of you in connection with it. After all, Anthony, you are in there a good deal. Bathing and shaving. And, well, you do take a long time.
Indeed. I hadn't realized I was being selfish in the matter. Go on, Mrs. Sycamore.
Well, I think it's a silly game and we ought to stop it.
Yes.
No. I find this game interesting. Go on, Mrs. Sycamore.
Where was I? Oh, lust, human.
Human? Really, Miriam?
I just meant, Anthony, that lust is, after all, a human emotion.
I don't agree with you, Miriam. Lust is not a human emotion. It is depraved.
Very well, Anthony. I was wrong.
Really? It's the most pointless game. Suppose we play 20 questions.
Oh, yes.
No. I find this game very interesting. Go on, Mrs. Sycamore. What was the next word?
Honeymoon?
Oh, yes. And what was Mrs. Kirby's answer?
Honeymoon? Dull.
Did you say dull?
Well, what I meant, Anthony, was that the hot spring was not very gay that season. All those old people sitting on the porch all afternoon and nothing to do at night.
That was not your reaction at the time, as I recall it.
Father, this is only a game.
A very illuminating game. Go on, Mrs. Sycamore.
Oh, this one's all right, Mr. Kirby. Sex, Wall Street.
Wall Street? What do you mean by that, Miriam?
I don't know what I meant. Nothing.
Well, it must have meant something, or you wouldn't have put it down.
Well, it was just the first thing that came to my head, that's all.
But what does it mean? Sex? Wall Street?
I don't know what it means, Anthony. It's just that you're always talking about Wall Street, even when we're... I don't know what it meant. If you don't mind. If you don't mind terribly, Alice, we'd rather not stay for dinner. I'm afraid this game has given me a terrible headache.
I understand, Mrs. Kirby.
Yes, perhaps we should postpone the dinner, if you don't mind.
But you're coming again tomorrow night, aren't you?
Oh, I'm afraid we have another engagement tomorrow.
Yes, perhaps we should postpone the entire affair for a little while with the hot weather and,
Father,
and
I think we're being very ungracious. Of course we'll stay to dinner tonight.
I have a very bad headache, Tony.
Come, Tony, I'm sure everyone understands.
Well, I don't. I think we ought to stay.
No, Tony.
What?
We were fools, Tony. Ever to think it would work. It won't. Mr. Kirby, I won't be at the office tomorrow. I won't be at the office at all anymore.
Alice, what are you talking about?
I'm sorry, my dear. Very sorry. Are you ready, Miriam?
Yes, Anthony?
Darling, you mustn't mind this.
Oh, it was nice to have met you all.
Yes. Lovely.
Are you coming, Tony?
No, Father. I'm not.
I see. Your mother and I will be waiting for you at home. Good night.
Good night.
Stay right where you are, everybody! Don't move!
How dare you? What does this mean?
All this?
I demand an explanation!
Keep your mouth shut, you. Which one is it?
This is him.
Wait, what are you doing?
Grandpa, what is it?
This is an outrage!
Shut up! What's your name, you?
Edward?
Carmichael? I haven't done anything.
You haven't, eh?
This seems rather high-handed to me.
What's this all about?
Department of Justice.
Oh my goodness, Jamin!
What have you done?
No, I haven't done anything!
What is it? What's it all about?
That door lead to the cellar?
Yes, it does.
Yes?
Mac, Jim,
Yes, sir.
take a look upstairs, see what you find.
Okay.
No, I haven't done anything with the... Ah!
You ever see this stuff before?
Oh, yeah.
You print this stuff
Yes, sir?
and put them in boxes of candy to get them into people's homes?
The love dreams.
Oh, but I didn't mean anything
You
by
didn't,
it.
huh? Dynamite the Capitol? Dynamite the White House? Dynamite the Supreme Court? God is the state is God.
But I didn't mean anything by it. I just like to print.
Now, officer, the government is in no danger from Ed. Printing is just his hobby, that's all. He prints anything.
He does, eh?
I've never heard of such nonsense.
I refuse to stay here.
Let me get my
Shut up, you! Hey, we were right, Chief. They got enough gunpowder down there to blow up the whole city.
But keep still! Everybody in this house is under arrest.
What's that?
No, officer, this is all
You might let me get my pipe until I...
Shut up, all of you!
Chief!
Shut up!
Keep still, you!
Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!
Who's that?
That's my mother!
You're fired! Shut up!